Hello, and welcome to the Temple of Enlightenment International Spiritual Center. My name is Issachar Bey, and I want to thank all of you for tuning in to this broadcast. I want to say, I want to thank all of you for your consistency and for tuning in. This week, we're going to continue back on our series, The 100 Secrets to Mastering the Game of Life. What I wanted to do was last week, those of you that listened, I did a call some time back with Christina, and I thought that it would have been a good time at last week for us to sit down and listen to some of the things that she was saying about success and manifesting success and so forth. So if you haven't listened to last week's broadcast, please by all means go ahead and take a listen to it. She's a dynamic coach who's out of Chicago, and she's doing great things out there. And we had a wonderful time. She's definitely somebody who's connected and who is in sync of what's going on and what's needing in this day and time that we're in now. So I just felt like it was something that we needed to just take a pause and listen to this. I call it a blast from the past or from the vault, but I do think that it would have blessed a lot of you, and a lot of you did reach out and say that you enjoyed it. So we are elated about that. I also want to take the time out very, very briefly and acknowledge that this month of October is Breast Cancer Awareness, and I know a lot of people in my family who have had breast cancer, who are survivors. I'm pretty sure many of you guys know any survivors. We're going to take this whole month and celebrate breast cancer awareness. Those of you that may want to do a donation or whatever, we're going to take the donations and we're going to submit them over to the Breast Cancer Awareness Foundation this month of October. I'm a very, very supportive person in that, because I believe that, and of course, because personally in my family, people I've known, but I just believe that, we coming together to support a cause like this is something that's great. I'll say to the women that are listening here, please, if you haven't done so, please go get a mammogram. And go get checked out and make sure that you're on top of your checkups so that you can be aware of things before they happen. As we always like to declare, prevention is always better than cure. The prevention of it is always going to be better than the cure. And so we want to take this time out to just acknowledge the breast cancer awareness. I want to thank all of you for your support, all of you who would like to donate, who like to give. We are elated about this. There are a few ways that you can give. The first way will be our Cash App, which is $TOESC. Once again, that's $TOESC. Another way that you can give is going to be PayPal and Zelle. Our PayPal and Zelle are going to be info, INFO, at TOESC.org. Once again, that's going to be info, INFO, at TOESC.org. And that's going to be the way that you can give for PayPal and Zelle. And then we have Venmo, those of you that would like to use Venmo. Venmo is going to be, our email address is Issachar Bey, ISSACHARBEY @gmail.com. So those are the those are the few ways that you can give if you want to make a donation. Like I said, for the month of October, we're going to be supporting the breast cancer awareness. And so I'm looking forward to being great support to them. Like I said, if you know anybody who's part of our community, we're going to stand with you. Definitely any survivors, any of those that we have lost to breast cancer, we definitely send our condolences to you guys. But this is something that I believe is very powerful, and I believe that it's something that everybody needs to be a part of. So if you have any daughters, sisters, mothers, grandmothers, aunts, uh, even men, have to be careful as well. So, um, so I think that it's imperative that we come together for this cause and that we continue uh, to stay in an awareness of it. And so I want to thank all of you for your commitment. As we get ready to go back into our series, 100 Secrets to Mastering the Game of Life, 100 Secrets. I believe that these secrets will help you to put you in a better place. I had a conversation with a few people this week, and what we're going to be talking about today came out of one of the conversations because I had it in the book, and I didn't realize how many people go through this every single day for years and years on their life, and they don't do anything about it. And so today we're going to look into this and deal with this. Go ahead and get in a comfortable, quiet position as we get ready to move into our spiritual mind treatment. I want you to take a deep breath and inhale and exhale. Once again, take a deep breath and inhale and exhale. Again, take a deep breath and inhale and exhale. Infinite Spirit, eternal source, divine mind, I center myself in your infinite presence, knowing that I am not separate from the power that governs all creation. I am the living expression of divine intelligence. The same power that holds the stars in perfect rhythm is the power that animates my being. Right here, right now, I declare I am the standard by which my world learns how to treat me. I release all remnants of unworthiness, guilt, false humility. I remember that every relationship, every encounter, every experience is but a mirror reflecting what I have agreed to within. Therefore, I speak a new commandment to my consciousness. I am the living decree of love, respect, and divine reciprocity. I do not chase validation, I embody it. I do not beg for peace, I radiate it. I do not plead for worthiness, I am it. Today, I teach the world how to love me by how I love myself. I teach the world how to speak to me by how I speak to my own soul. I teach the world how to value me by how I value my time, my energy, my essence, and my destiny. And as I rise in consciousness, the universe recognizes itself to reflect that rise. The old ways of mistreatment, disrespect, and disregard dissolves into the nothingness from which they came. I am whole, I am worthy, I am divine. And so it is, and so it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you for tuning in today. I want to thank all of you for being a part of our series. And we want to thank all of you for continuing to join us every week. If you can go ahead and hit the like button, that will help us to raise the algorithms, and also subscribe if you haven't done so. We are forever grateful. Today, I want to talk from this topic. You get treated in life the way you teach people to treat you. I'm going to say this again. You get treated in life the way you teach people to treat you. I had a conversation with some people this week, and we were talking, and they were telling me about how they were so upset, disoriented because of how people were treating them. And it had been going on for so long that they, it's something that they've always been uncomfortable with. And I said to them, well, why didn't you change the way you teach people how to treat you? And she didn't know what I meant. She didn't understand. I said, you get treated in life the way you teach people how to treat you. And so today I want to talk about that because I believe that so many people in life have been mistreated, have been pushed to the side, have not gotten the respect or that they thought they should have received, or have been treated the way that they wanted to be treated, and they didn't know that the way that you get treated the way you want to is by teaching people how to treat you. It doesn't just happen, and we'll get into this. Every human interactive is a classroom of consciousness. You are both the teacher and the curriculum. When you enter a room, your energy precedes you like a syllabus, announcing the subject matter. This is how I expect to be treated. And in that, I want to talk about, if I had to talk from a subpart subject, I would say the law of self-instruction. The law of self-instruction says, the world is your mirror, not your master. If those of you who are listening, I want you to write that in the chat. The world is my mirror, not my master. Whatever treatment you consistently tolerate, you subconsciously authorize. Whatever treatment you consistently tolerate, you are subconsciously authorizing it. So when I had a conversation with those ladies, and they were telling me about how they felt that they were being mistreated, they were pushed to the side, they never did anything about it. So by them not doing anything about it and constantly tolerating it, what ended up happening was they were subconsciously authorizing it. See, we teach through consistency, not confrontation. When you repeatedly allow someone to speak to you in a tone that violates your peace, you're giving a silent sermon on your boundaries. When you overgive without reciprocity, you're announcing to the universe, I can be drained for approval. But when you realign with self, when you realign with the self and value, and when you say no without guilt, without walking away, without resentment, and love yourself without apology, the vibration of your being becomes your lesson plan to the world. I remember when I first realized this law, working in my own life, I thought people were simply disrespectful. Then Spirit said, no, they're respectful students following your syllabus. That's deep right there. people will treat you the way that you teach them how to treat you. And if you don't like the way that you're being treated, you have the ability to change that by changing how you operate in life and how you move and the consistency of what you do. And like I said, we're going to cover some things today. Some people feel like, I'm on my job and I'm the hardest worker on my job and I do everything I'm supposed to do. I'm the first one in. I'm the last one to leave. I do everything for everybody. And it seems like this girl who doesn't do anything always gets the promotions. She always gets the accolades. She always gets recognized. And they never say anything about me, but I'm the one that does everything. Then there's something that needs to be done here because evidently you're not teaching them how to treat you. You can't expect others to graduate from a lesson you keep reteaching. So there has to be something that has to be done. A change has to be done in order for us to go through that motion to make that happen. When you complain that people take advantage of you, look inwardly and ask, what do I believe I must do to be loved? Because this belief is your unconscious classroom. So remember, I had you write in the chat, the world is my mirror, not my master. So that means that if I'm being mistreated, if I'm being overlooked, if I'm being pushed to the side, there's something inside of me that's already accountable for that. And what's happening on the outside is just a reflection of what's happening on the inside. So now we have to go in now and figure out, why am I being mistreated this way? The law doesn't blame, it empowers. It means that at any moment you can rewrite the curriculum of how life treats you. Ladies and gentlemen, at any given moment, I've always said this to you, live your life, don't let life live you. Live your life, don't let life live you. And what I mean by that is that you should be dictating to life how you want to live. You should be dictating to life what you want to experience, how you want to live, the things that you desire. You should be telling life what to do instead of just letting life give you situations and circumstances and you live to react on basically what life gives you. And so I believe that we ought to be in a position to where we tell life how we want to live. But at any given moment, you can rewrite the curriculum of how life treats you. When you teach yourself self-love, the universe responds with divine respect. When you teach from self-doubt, the universe sends the tutors of pain to wake you up. Remember, the world is your mirror, not your master. So whatever you're experiencing in the world is a mirror of what's going on inside of you. If life is treating you, life is going to treat you based on how you're teaching life how to treat you. And so I want us to get in our minds and to get an understanding of that, because many of you, and when I say the world, it's everything in the world. So just like I made the example of the woman on her job, that's still the world. There's something inside of her that's a reflection of what's going on inside, that she's being overlooked and she's being not recognized. And so we got to get to the point of what's inside of her that's allowing her to do that, so she can start teaching the world how to treat her. And a lot of times I always like to say this. People think I'm crazy, but I love to talk to myself. I love to speak into the world, speak out loud into the atmosphere, because I believe in the power of words. And you ought to learn how to speak to yourself and ought to learn how to speak out loud and to speak into the atmosphere. I am a living example of divine respect. My energy teaches without effort. I attract mirrors, not masters. I am no longer enrolled in classrooms of disrespect. I teach through the vibration of worthiness. So I have to ask you the question, ladies and gentlemen, what are you teaching right now? When you enter relationships, business deals, friendships, do you enter as the authority of your worth, or as a substitute teacher begging for attendance? Which means when you enter into a relationship, do you show up as if I'm supposed to be here and this is what I am? Or you show them as a relationship like, I hope this person likes me. I hope this person welcomes me in. Energy never dies. Energy never lies. You can dress up in security in a designer suit, but the frequency of self-betrayal still leaks through. Recall a relationship, personal or professional, where you felt undervalued. Instead of blaming the other person, observe what silent permission you were given. Did you laugh off the disrespect? Did you minimize your needs to keep the peace? Did you over-explain when silence was enough? This awareness isn't punishment, it's power. When you correct the eternal lesson, the external behavior automatically shifts. And then you begin to speak like this: I am the instructor of my own worth. My energy educates others before my words even speak. I am not a victim of mistreatment. I am a master of vibration. The lesson I teach now is love, respect, and reciprocity. I want to talk about the science of boundaries. Boundaries are not walls, they are energetic degrees. A wall blocks, a boundary broadcast. Your boundaries are your vibrational commandments. They announce to the universe what can and cannot enter your temple. If your life is chaotic, it's not because you lack love, it's because your temple doors are unlocked. If people take advantage of your kindness, it's because your compassion has no security system. See, if you're going to understand the science of boundaries, and you're going to understand that, like I just said, boundaries are not walls; they're energetic degrees. And a lot of times we don't set up boundaries in life, and so a lot of things that take place are taking place by lack of boundaries. And so some of you may have to deal with a lot of drama, chaotic stuff in your life. And then we have to ask the question, are your temple doors unlocked? Because if you had the boundaries, certain things wouldn't get into your life, certain things wouldn't come into your atmosphere, because you have boundaries there to protect yourself from allowing just any and everything to get in. Spiritually speaking, a boundary is not reflection, it's a divine floration. You must remember the same God that told the ocean, you can come this far and no further is the same power that empowers you to say, this is where I end and you begin. Boundaries are sacred because they teach self-reverence. They declare, I am not available for confusion. I am not compatible with disrespect. I am not accessible with manipulation. Every time you honor your boundary, you elevate your frequency. Every time you break it, you lower your broadcast and invite chaos back into the class. How many of us don't even have a boundary? I wonder how many of us don't even have a boundary. We don't even have boundaries. We're just going to and fro. We have no boundaries. It's not even a matter of us putting the boundaries up. Some of us don't even have boundaries. So I want you to take a look at that and really consider creating boundaries so that you can protect yourself and so that you don't have to let in confusion, disrespect, or manipulation at any given time. How many of you have boundaries? Write it in the chat. How many of us have put boundaries in place? When you set a boundary, you're not trying to control others. You're instructing your energy on what frequency to inhabit. Oh, that's good right there. I'm going to say that again. When you set a boundary, you're not trying to control anybody. You're instructing your energy on what frequency to inhabit, which means that I'm not inhabiting confusion. I'm not dealing with disrespect. I'm not dealing with manipulation. I'm not dealing with drama or chaos. I'm not dealing with that. So I'm putting those boundaries in place so that they know what frequencies to inhabit and which ones not to. That's why I just said earlier, when you come to a place of dealing with the boundaries, you'll make a statement that says, this is where I end and this is where you begin. So you'll be able to tell confusion, this is where you end and this is where I begin, because I don't deal with confusion. I don't deal with manipulation. Boundaries are spiritual training wheels for self-love. I've had people ask, but Issachar, won't people leave if I set boundaries? And I tell them, yes, the ones that were only there for the lack of them. The ones who were only there for the lack of boundaries. So yeah, now you put boundaries up. Some people will leave because now you set things at boundaries. You're letting them know, because the people who were leaving could be the drama, confusion, the chaos. They could be the ones that's bringing that into your life. So if you're putting boundaries in now, yes, certain people will leave. Boundaries don't push people away. They filter alignment. They separate your soul tribe from your soul's text. When you finally stop complaining, when you finally stop explaining your wealth, your worth, you start experiencing your peace. So yes, you're putting up boundaries is not going to push a person away. They're going to realize that something has happened. There's something different about you. You're not the same. You don't talk the way you talk. You don't look the way that you look. Something feels different in how we vibe with each other. It doesn't feel the same. Something is off. And so they will automatically separate themselves. They won't get pushed away, but they will automatically separate themselves away because they would have realized that there's a boundary put up and that you're no longer inhabiting any negativity, any confusion, or anything like that. My boundaries are my blessings. I set them with love, not fear. My no is a holy word. I teach others how to love me by honoring myself. My peace is my new normal. Boundaries must be maintained in thought first. Don't set energetic standards with your mouth while breaking them in your mind. If you think you're unworthy of respect, no declaration will hold. This is so true because you can't say, I'm worthy of respect. You can't say, the people on the job overlooked me. I do all the work. I'm the first one in, the last one out. And you're saying all of that, but deep inside, you don't feel worthy to be recognized. You don't feel worthy to be put on a pedestal. There's an insecurity there. There's something there. Then no matter you putting in boundaries or not, if in your mind and if your being is not correct, then it won't align. Remember, the world is your mirror, not your master. I respect myself enough to be misunderstood. Sometimes you'll lose people who were addicted to your lack of self-respect. Let them graduate. You've overcome that course. There's people that only want to be around with you because of the lack of your self-respect. Now that you're moving into a level of self-respect and you're moving into into a place of awareness, and you're beginning to learn more about yourself and you're beginning to come into who you are, those people will say, oh, this person thinks they're better than me, or this person thinks they're better than us, because look at them now, they're moving and they're doing this and doing that, when you're just putting in boundaries and getting things set up. Let's now turn inward to the mind where all boundaries begin. You can't demand external respect from a mind that entertains internal disrespect. People don't violate you because they're strong. They do so because your subconscious gave them a script that said it's acceptable. That said it's acceptable. Mental alchemy is a sacred art of transforming unworthiness into divine authority. It begins by reprogramming how you talk to yourself. Now, we have a series here on our channel called Mental Resurrection, Awakening the Mental Alchemist Within. Everything is mind. Everything is mind. I'll say this to ladies and gentlemen that are listening. Anybody that's getting in a relationship, anybody who's wanting to be in a relationship and you're in a place right now where you're saying, you know what, I want to start dating, I want to meet people, I want you to understand that every time you meet somebody, I want you to substitute the word for man and woman, and I want you to put mind. Because when you go out on a date, when you meet somebody on that app, when you meet somebody in the supermarket, when you meet somebody at the lounge or at the bar, you're meeting a mind. That's why it's imperative that you learn how to reprogram how you talk to yourself. The words I am are the most powerful boundary setters. Every I am is an energetic blueprint that tells the universe who's home. When you say, I am always used, you enroll life into that syllabus. When you say, I am respected, valued, and divinely guided, you re-educate creation on how to respond to you. Your outer relationships are reflections of your inner conversations. Ladies and gentlemen, how are our inner conversations going on? Inner conversations. Inner conversations. And let me tell you something. This stuff works if you work it. It works if you work it. If you keep attracting people who don't listen, it may be because you keep ignoring your own intuition. If you keep attracting takers, it may be because you give from guilt, not from overflow. If you keep attracting emotional instability, it may be because you keep silencing your own truth. To change the outer world, you must rewrite the inner manuscript. You got to rewrite the inner manuscript. Old script says, people don't respect me. New script says, I respect myself so deeply that others have no choice but to match that frequency. Old script, no one values my time. New script, my time is sacred, currency, and I spend it wisely. Old script, I'm always overlooked. New script, divine order ensures that I am seen, valued, and rewarded in perfect timing. Your subconscious mind learns through repetition and emotion. So repeat these affirmations not as wishful thinking, but as spiritual coding. I am a divine being worthy of respect and reciprocity. I release all subconscious arguments and disrespect. I am the embodiment of sacred value. I magnetize relationships that mirror my self-honor. I am no longer I no longer audition for love. I attract from truth. So to understand that, now I want to say this because a lot of times when we talk like this and we start talking about going within, I want to let you guys know this. Maybe you guys have people like this in your family. You ever notice somebody in your family who buys nice clothes, they drive a nice car, they have a nice house? You watch how they take care of themselves. They buy good quality stuff. They're not cheap. When it comes to themselves, they spend a lot of money. They buy nice things for themselves. So what happens is, if anybody's going to do anything for that person, they're going to say to themselves, well, you know what? Man, they really take care of themselves. They buy nice things. I'm going to really have to get this person something nice. Why? Because you've already learned how to treat that person. How? Because they taught you how to treat them by how they treat themselves. You already know that this is a person that buys nice gifts, that wears nice clothes, drives a nice car. You already know that this person really values himself. And so they've already taught you that if you're going to intermingle with me, if you're going to do anything for me, you see how I value myself. So you're going to have to still value me the way that I value myself, because I've already taught you how to value me. And I think that that's the same thing we need to do, ladies and gentlemen. You need to start learning how to value yourself, and then teaching the world and teaching everybody else how to value you the way you value yourself. Now hear this truth. Your embodiment is your greatest educational tool. You don't have to lecture people on how to treat you. Your lifestyle preaches louder than your lips. I just said that, ladies and gentlemen. The woman never said anything to you. You see what kind of clothes they wear. You see what kind of car they drive. You see what they live. You see all of that. They never said anything to you, but how they live their lifestyle preaches louder than the lips. And how you treat yourself in silence determines how others treat you in public. When you honor your word, life sends people who honor their word. When you ignore your intuition, life sends people who ignore your needs. You are teaching with your vibration every day. Stop over explaining your worth to people who are fluent in your old language. Speak the new vibration instead. See, we have the ability of trying to teach and trying to force people and manipulate people into trying to get them to understand who we are, and we're speaking the old language. So you need to let that go and speak the new vibration instead. When you walk in dignity, you don't have to defend it. When you embody peace, you don't have to argue for it. There's a story I often share of a woman who kept saying, "I'm tired of being everybody's backup plan." I asked her, how often do you back yourself up with excuses instead of execution? She went silent because what she tolerated in herself, she attracted in others. Man, this is so good today. I hope you guys are really getting this. This is unbelievable. It's powerful here. What she tolerated in herself, she attracted in others. How many of you listening to the sound of my voice right now have been tolerating certain things within yourself, and then all of a sudden attracting those same things that you're tolerating and people that's in your community, that's in your vicinity? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, life mirrors. It doesn't mock. The world is your mirror, not your master. You teach not through talking, but through demonstrating. Stop trying to convince and just start becoming. You don't have to convince anybody of who you are. Now listen, the example I gave earlier, the person who dresses nice, the person who drives a nice car, the person that lives in a nice home, they have very nice things inside the home. They never tried to convince you not one time of who they were. They didn't try to convince you. They didn't try to beg you. They didn't try to manipulate you. All they did was become who they were. And by becoming who they were, what happened to you now is that now when you come into the picture, you're now saying to yourself, oh man, this person really takes care of themselves. They wear nice clothes. They drive a nice car. It's their birthday. Oh man, I'm going to have to really find something really nice for them because I know how they value themselves. Same thing for you. Same thing for me. Same thing for everybody. We have the same ability to value ourselves at any given level, and then now everybody else will be able to obtain us on the level of how we value ourselves. My life is my loudest sermon. I teach others through embodiment. I no longer explain, I exemplify. My example speaks with divine authority. This is the moment of recreation, the sacred rewrite. You've been teaching unconsciously. Now you will teach consciously. Because many of us have been saying, I've been overlooked on the job, and unconsciously you've been holding on to that overlooking. That's why it's manifesting in your life, because unconsciously you've been holding that. You've been carrying that. And remember, life is a mirror. So while you're holding on to that overlooking, life is going to mirror that. And that's why you're being overlooked. You will declare a new energetic contract between you and the universe. From this day forward, I am treated as I treat myself, with love, clarity, reverence, respect. I am unavailable for anything less. I am unavailable for anything less. If it ain't about love, clarity, reverence, and respect. This isn't arrogance. This is alignment. You must remember, life doesn't give you what you demand. It gives you what you embody. It gives you what you embody. What are you embodying? Life gives you what you embody. What are you embodying? What are you embodying? Every morning begins your day with this decree. Today, I set the tone for how I am treated. My energy is calm, confident, and sovereign. I no longer attract chaos, I radiate clarity. I no longer teach pain, I teach peace. I no longer seek validation, I offer vibration. I am the teacher, and life is my attentive student. When you walk in this vibration long enough, the universe recognizes itself to support you. People who once ignored you will sense this energetic class dismissed. Situations that once drained you will naturally dissolve. And you'll notice the more you honor your worth, the more miracles become your normal. The more you honor your worth, the more miracles become your normal. How are we being treated? How are we treating ourselves? The inward conversation is the secret, ladies and gentlemen. It's the secret. The inward conversation of how my husband treats me or how my wife treats me, how my children treat me, it's inward conversations. Inward conversations of how I'm treated on the job, how I'm treated at the church, how am I treated by my peers, my friends, my family. It's an inward conversation. Many of us are trying to stagnate what's the word I want to use? We're trying to manipulate. We're trying to manipulate it on the outside because we may do things to dress up ourselves and make ourselves look bigger. The person who has a nice car, nice clothes, they're moving in silence. They're not trying to be seen. They're not trying to stand out. They're not trying to put on a whole broadcast to show everybody what they have. They're just walking in who they are. They're walking in their becoming. But what happens is, because you know that, you automatically they have now taught you how to treat them. So the woman who's been overlooked on the job, she now has to have an inner conversation, because now she has to have an inner conversation to say, I need to let go and dissolve all of those old thinkings, the old way that I used to speak, and I need to rechange, to have an inner conversation with myself to say that I am valued, that I am available to be recognized, and I do deserve to be awarded. I do deserve to be recognized. I do deserve to get promoted and get a raise. And you have to have that inward conversation. You have to have it inwardly, because remember, the world is the mirror. Once I do it inwardly, it automatically reflects on the outside. It was going on in my physical reality. So now all of a sudden, you're now getting the promotion and you're getting the raise. And remember, you were the one that was doing all the work. It's an inward conversation. And so that insecurity has to be dealt with. And I think that I really want to work with that, because I've been seeing, man, from consultations and from people that I've been working with, that insecurity seems to be something that's very, very dominant uh, in our lives. This insecurity, and so I want to definitely put something together so that we can help those that are dealing with insecurity to have it removed, because insecurity is like a cancer. It's like a poison, and it can really destroy you. It can destroy your family. It can destroy so many people, that insecurity. When you get to a place where you are now having that inward conversation, that I am blessed, that I'm righteous, that I am loved, you start having those conversations, and you start having those inner conversations, things begin to change, because then you start making declarations like this: I am the authority of my own worth. I am the vibration of divine respect. I teach others how to treat me by how I treat myself. I am no longer a student of struggle. I am a teacher of life. My life mirrors my love. My peace is my power. My boundaries are my blessings. My worth is non negotiable. I am whole. I am worthy. I am divine. And you begin to talk like this, and you begin to have those inward conversations. And the more you talk, because listen, when you start talking to yourself like that, and you keep talking to yourself, then guess what happens, ladies and gentlemen? When you start talking and talking to yourself like that, and keep talking to yourself, you start changing the way you look at yourself. You start changing the way you feel about yourself. And once you start continuing to do that consistently, the world begins to mirror it. Remember, the world is a mirror. The world will begin to mirror it. And once the world mirror it, it begins to put it out. And you begin to see life the way that you created it, the way that you want life to react to you. We're not supposed to react to life. Life is supposed to react to us. And so I really think that it's imperative. This lesson was so good. It was really, I felt like I was preaching to the choir, because it was so much that I was getting as I'm teaching you guys. Just so much was falling on me, because we're all in the position where we need to start putting up boundaries and that we need to start having those inner conversations because we want the world to treat us the way that we want to be treated. And that only happens by having those inner conversations, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank all of you for tuning in today. I believe that this has been a great, great teaching. I don't know what city, what state, what country you called in from. Please let us know in the chat. If you haven't done so, please hit the like button. Also subscribe. And I want to let you guys know that you have the ability at this right moment here and now to make a change today and say, I am no longer going to be mistreated. I am no longer going to be treated unfairly, treated wrongly. I'm going to make that choice, that decision right here and right now. And you have that ability to do that. And so I believe that there's no greater time than the present. And that's why I wanted to get this to you, because this is one of the keys on how to master the game of life, ladies and gentlemen. It's one of the keys. And so I had to get this to you. There was no other way that I couldn't get this to you because it was so prominent right now. I had the conversation with the ladies, and so many people have been getting mistreated and being overlooked and thinking that there's something wrong with them and there's something that they did and there's something. And so, yes, there's some things that can be changed. There's some things that we can do to change that. And so I want you to get this message to somebody who you know needs to hear this powerful message. Once again, those of you that want to donate this month of October, we are donating to Breast Cancer Awareness Foundation. So all donations will be going there. I will be donating everything that comes through. We are very, very supportive, and we stand with the breast cancer awareness. Once again, I want to give the opportunity for those people who want to give. There's many different ways you can give. One of the ways you can give is Cash App, which is going to be $TOESC. Once again, that's $TOESC. Then we have Zelle and PayPal, where you can use our email, which is info at toesc.org. Once again, that's for Zelle and that's for PayPal. And all the descriptions of where you can give is at the bottom. We also have our Venmo, and Venmo is going to be Issachar Bey, ISSACHARBEY @gmail.com. Once again, that's going to be ISSACHARBEY @gmail.com, and that's Venmo. Also want to give you guys the opportunity. You can also get the book, 100 Secrets to Mastering the Game of Life. I have the link here. You can go to Amazon and buy it. Just type in Issachar Bey. You'll see a few books that I've written already. But the 100 Secrets to Mastering the Game of Life, you can pick that up on Amazon. So I want to thank all of you for being a part of this great, great teaching today. I hope you got something out of it. Go back and listen to this again. This is one of those where you got to listen to it again and take what you're getting out of this and start applying it to your life and start really putting it into perspective so that you can start getting the changes that you need to get. And so, we are forever grateful. I want to thank all of you for tuning in to this broadcast. I want to thank all of you for your support that you're going to be giving us for the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I want to thank all of you for your consistency. Please, if you know anybody that needs to hear this or any of our teachings, go ahead and hit the share button, grab the link, email it to them, text it to them. Let them know we're here every week, same place, same time. I want you to know that your destiny is not a matter of chance, but it is a matter of choice. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.